Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to make a Knook. What you're going to need is some cheap plastic crochet hooks, an Exacto knife, and you're also going to need a file, which I have here. I wind up not using this actually. You're also going to need a drill or a drill bit, preferably one that's pretty slow, or a manual drill. So yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make this, which is a Knook. And a Knook is just a crochet hook that you knit with. This is the first one that I made originally. What I did was I cut off the end, as you can see here, and made it shorter and just drilled a hole at the end. And here's the sample that I made with it. As you can see, it is a knit fabric. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna taper or file down the end right there. As you can see, I'm gonna file that down that end so that way it's all one size. And then I'm also gonna wind up filing down that little thumb piece right there so that way everything is nice and smooth and even, just so the stitches will slide over easier. So the first thing I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to cut off that end, because these Dollar Tree hooks have a little knob at the end. I'm just going to use my Exacto knife to chop that end off. So yeah, I'm going to get the rest of my materials and get started. All right, all I'm going to do right here is I'm going to cut off the little knob with my Exacto knife. This is going to be pretty easy because the crochet hooks from the Dollar Tree are super soft and really easy to bend and cut and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. So now that I have that little knob cut off, what I'm going to attempt to do is shave down this tapered end, so that way it's all even with the rest of the crochet hook. Yeah, just be careful if you're doing it this way. The plastic is really soft, but at the same time, it is kind of hard to slice through it. So yeah, just be very, very careful and take your time. Okay, that was taking way too long. So now I'm going to grab my file and I'm going to see if I can file it down. I would suggest that if you do it this way is to use a dust mask, because it creates a lot of dust. And it's kind of stinky too, so yeah. And this is a quicker way of doing it. Definitely, I suggest you file it down. It would take a little longer if you're using a hand file like this. Alright, so I decided that was taking way too long. I grabbed my Dremel, which is actually for my pet's claws, and I decided I'm going to try it and see if it works. I mean, it works to grind down their nails, so yeah. I grabbed my little kit there that I bought from Walmart, and yeah, this Dremel is actually the same type that is just the very basic Dremel, and it's going to do the same thing. I just have it on the lowest setting, and I think these sanding bands are 120 grit. So yeah, this was definitely faster, for sure. Alright, so it looks like I'm pretty close to where I need to be. I'm just gonna grab the other crochet hook that I have sitting right here to compare it. And yeah, it's looking pretty even all the way around. So I might have to shave it down a little bit, but yeah, super dusty. Remember the dust mask. All right, so now I'm gonna work on that little thumb area. I'm gonna attempt to use the Exacto knife. You can do it, like I said earlier. It just takes a little longer. You have to go slow and short strokes and make sure you have a new blade. I think that was my problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the grinding tool or the Dremel. And I'm gonna go ahead and use that and go ahead and get everything as even as I can. So now I am done filing everything down, and I just grabbed a really high grit sanding paper. This is 600 grit sanding paper, and I'm just gonna smooth everything out. If you don't have this high grit of sandpaper, you know, just choose something that is pretty high up there, just to smooth everything out. And what I did do that I did not show in the video was I added a little flat area at the very end of the crochet hook, and that's just to make it a little easier to put the hole at the end. All right, it looks like everything is super smooth. It looks really good. So now I think I'm ready to go ahead and put the hole at the end of the crochet hook. So let me grab my drill and let's do that. Okay, what I would suggest that you do, instead of using a power drill, use a manual drill or just the drill bit itself, because this plastic is really soft. What wound up happening to me was it melted the plastic onto the drill bit, but either way, it worked out. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm finding that little flat area that I made, and I'm just gonna put the hole, I don't know, half an inch, maybe not even half an inch away from the end. Just make sure that it's far enough away to where it's not gonna crack at the end. Okay, so my hole is all nice and made. I think it's a little small, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my little burring tools, I think is what they're called. They're for beading, and I'm just gonna attempt to make this hole a little bigger with these tools. Okay, all finished. Yeah, it looks really good. It's nice and smooth, and it's all one size all the way around. So yeah, what I have here is my scrap yarn, some glue, and my needle. And the needle doesn't fit. I didn't make the hole quite large enough to fit. You want your hole to be large enough to where you can fit the needle and your thread or your yarn into that hole. You can elongate it a little bit, I would just be careful of how big you make your hole. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some glue, and I am just gonna glue the end of my scrap yarn. And what this is gonna do is gonna stiffen up the end of your yarn so that way you can thread it through without using a needle. Really simple. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test the crochet hook itself to make sure the stitches actually slide across it, and see if I need to make any adjustments before I actually, you know, start using it as a nook, a crochet hook to knit with. So yeah, I think it worked pretty well. I do need to make a few adjustments to it, which I will eventually do, but for what it is, it came out pretty good. I did make the stitches a little tight, and that's probably why it didn't work out as well. So yeah, it came out pretty good. All right, it's done. I'm actually pretty proud of how it came out. For $1 and a little bit of time, it came out pretty good. I do need to make a few adjustments here and there, but it's nothing major. And yeah, like I said, for $1, pretty good. And you don't even have to sand it down if you don't want to. You just have to make your stitches a little bigger. Yeah, it's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you're gonna try this new craft, or it's not really new, I just heard about it, but it's called Knooking. So yeah, let me know if you're gonna try it out down in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Stay crafting. Bye.